there's a court order in place and the court order doesn't prohibit it, they can take the child away for up to 28 days, and so can you, again, if the court order doesn't prohibit it. If there's no court order in place, then everyone with parental responsibility should give permission before the child is taken out of the country. The question that separated dads ask me all the time is, can my ex take my child abroad without my permission? Now, there's two answers to that. If there's a court order in place and the court order doesn't prohibit it, they can take the child away for up to 28 days, and so can you, again, if the court order doesn't prohibit it. If there's no court order in place, then everyone with parental responsibility should give permission before the child is taken out of the country. The question that separated dads ask me all the time is, can my ex take my child abroad without my permission? Now, there's two answers to that.
Ladies and gentlemen.
With another fantastic family law question. If you've got family law questions, make sure to do exactly what this person did and send them to me in the Q&A. Am I able to take my son out of the country for vacation on my days if we have shared custody and the dad does not agree? So in this case, there's no doubt that she has parenting time, that she has vacation days, and she's wondering if there's anything that prohibits her from taking the kids out of the country without permission. The key here is to look at your parenting plan. If your parenting plan does not prohibit you from taking your child out of the country, then you can. But you're going to need a passport. And usually the passport does require both signatures. But let's say you have a passport and you provided notice and there's nothing in your parenting plan that prohibits you from doing it, then it is not illegal for you to take your child on vacation out of the country. Hey there, Billy Tarasi with
welcome, Sister Marriott.
Family law question. If
welcome, Comfort.
Make sure to do exactly what this person did and send them to me in the Q&A.
Please do me a favor.
Am I able to take my son out of the country for vacation?
Hit the like button as you come in.
Have shared custody, and the dad does not agree. So in this case, there's no doubt that she has parenting time, that she has vacation days, and she's wondering if there's anything that prohibits her from taking the kids out of the country without permission. The key here is to look at your parenting plan. If your parenting plan does not prohibit you from taking your child out of the country, then you can. But you're going to need a passport. And usually the passport does require both signatures. But let's say you have a passport and you provided notice and there's nothing in your parenting plan that prohibits you from doing it, then it is not illegal for you to take your child on vacation out of the country. Hey there, Billy Tarasi with another fantastic family law question. If you've got family law questions, make sure to do exactly what this person did and send them to me in the Q&A. Am I able to take my son out of the country for vacation on my days if we have shared custody and the dad does not agree? So in this case, there's no doubt that she has parenting time, that she has vacation days, and she's wondering if there's anything that prohibits her from taking the kids out of the country without permission. The key here is to look at your parenting plan. If your parenting plan does not prohibit you from taking your child out of the country, then you can. But you're going to need a passport. And usually the passport does require both signatures. But let's say you have a passport and you provided notice and there's nothing in your parenting plan that prohibits you from doing it, then it is not illegal for you to take your child on vacation out of the country. Hey there, Billy Tarasi with
Is it okay to take your kids out of the country without telling your ex?
Negative.
Absolutely not. You can't do that.
Well, you can try, but what would happen likely?
Hopefully they would stop you at the border, but that doesn't always happen.
It's not going to look good if you're in front of a judge later on that you're doing this. Do not take the kid or kids across the border without having written consent from your ex or a court order.
Is it okay to take your kids out of the country without telling your ex?
Negative.
Absolutely not. You can't do that.
Well, you can try, but what would happen likely?
Hopefully they would stop you at the border, but that doesn't always happen.
It's not going to look good if you're in front of a judge later on that you're doing this. Do not take the kid or kids across the border without having written consent from your ex or a court order.
Is it okay to take your kids out of the country without telling your ex?
Negative.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for hitting the like button. And of course, thanks for being part of the Uncle Beno's platform. I see my sister Cece is already here. Thank you, Cece. Thanks for all you do. We appreciate you. Sister Marriott. Sister Marriott say Uncle Beno has an agenda today. My sister, we have to do it now. You know, as they go. All right. You're welcome to Uncle Beno's channel. Please, you know the ground rules here. We do not entertain trolling. We don't entertain disrespect. Please kindly respect everybody on this channel. I value my subscribers, my membership, everybody. I value them to a great extent. Please respect them, respect yourself. We try to focus on the issue here. We don't try to troll anybody. Welcome. What's the name? Adedola. Oh, that's my auntie. Auntie D. Welcome, ma. Welcome, ma. So please do not insult anybody. We don't do trolling. We only focus on the topic. You are free to express yourself, but make sure it is related to what we are discussing. And of course, because this is a live show, people might call in, and I may also have people in the studio with me. You might not agree with their point of view. Do not insult them. Just simply state the areas you don't agree with, and we're going to have fun. So today, we're going to look at this trending topic. The topic actually caught my attention after I've seen so many platforms, bloggers, and of course, online in-laws going back and forth and dragging each other on this topic. It's about post-divorce decisions, okay? We have this issue at hand when people are divorced and custody battle begins at the end of the day. Sometimes some divorces are really like a war zone. Both partners who used to be friends, they'll become sworn enemies. And after the divorce, they still carry that grudges, that resentment, that anger. They take it over to their different lives. One of the things they tend to use against each other are the children. We've seen wives, husbands who try to take children away from their ex. They don't want their ex to have anything to do with the kids. And as a result, some ex who lack the skills to negotiate post-divorce might sometimes say, you know what, I'm just going to let her do whatever she wants to do. I don't want to be part of this. Welcome, my sister, Cece. Honey babe, thank you. So some people will say, I don't want to be part of this, and they just start dragging and going on and on. But this topic is what informed this topic today is what actually transpired between Daddy Freeze and his ex-wife. And even though Daddy Freeze is the one who talked several times, always bringing the ex-wife situation on all his shows, he's quick to bring the woman, to drag her, to call her names and describe situations, scenarios that we were not aware of, all in a bid to throw shades on the ex-wife. But we have to give the ex-wife credit. We never heard from her. I think the last article I saw where she actually said something about their marriage was in 2017 and 2018. And after that, this woman have not said anything. But then, because of the current saga that involved Daddy Free's current wife and his and her ex, one issue that comes up every time is, why did Daddy Freeze fail to reach out to his children and to provide for them? This issue has brought divergent views. Why some people believe that Daddy Freeze is a failure because he didn't do what he's supposed to do as a parent, as a dad. And some people have a strong belief that the fault is actually from his ex-wife, who took the children out of Nigeria and relocate them to, I think, Canada or US. If anybody know where she relocate them to, let us know. But I think the lady is in either US or Canada. Now, like I've said on this show, we don't drag people who are actually having the problem. We don't troll them. Rather, we want to extract lessons from this. So I've shared this today's topic. I shared it in our VIP WhatsApp group, and I also posted it on my other platforms. And I asked people to send their thoughts through WhatsApp or text, or they can react to the post pending this show. I have a couple of people who have already stated their own opinion on this matter, and I just simply asked them, post-divorce, should ex take children out of the country without consent? And of course, trust my team, my social media freelancer team are the first to respond. And I'm just going to read some of their comment real quick. Sanusi Adejo say the other partner must be aware. And Joseph Ali said, consent must be sorted. The child needs both parents, whether divorced or not. They are only caught in the middle of the parents' trouble, which is absolutely correct. Peter Okpara, my man Piro, what's up? It's been a while, bro. Peter says, both partners, divorce or not, must fully involve in the welfare of the child. Absolutely. My girl Chidima said, I'm looking forward to the show. Well, the show is ongoing now. Zainab said, both parents must be aware because they all have equal rights. Okay. Gladys Emmanuel said, taking children out without consent of the other party is very wrong. Both must play their own part in the life of those children. Absolutely. Thank you, Gladys. And the next one is coming from my own princess, Temitope. Princess said, no, it's not possible. Both of us must be aware we have same right. Absolutely. Aguru Messi, shout out to Aguru Messi. Messi is always here. Aguru Messi said, it's not possible. It's not possible. Both parents must be in agreement before one of the partner can do such, whether divorced or not. There must be an understanding. Absolutely. Victoria Mayaki, hey Vicky, my own Lekpa sister. Vicky said, parents should not take the children abroad without consent or with the consent of the other. Both parents should have a say in the well-being of their children. Then I got this one coming from Netizen Global. You're welcome, brother. Netizen Global said, it is not to relocate the children without the consent of the ex, no matter the circumstances that surround it. Okay. Luke said, I am not experienced in this, so my judgment will be based on my thinking. All right. If they are divorced and one of them granted by the court to take care of the children, he or she has a right to the kids. Absolutely. Comfort said, take the children out of the country without the other partner consent is very wrong. She must seek the other partner's consent before taking any decision. Absolutely. Thank you. Julia said it has to be a mutual agreement between couples, especially if it is joint custody. And Princess Kerry, hey Princess, what's up? All the way from Benin, Nigeria. Oh, Benin, Africa, not Nigeria, rather. Princess said the rate of divorce is highly proportional to property issues. And then B-Flex said that decision has to be mutual, except one party tries to be difficult by not putting the interest of the kids first. And lastly, my sister Akposun said, nothing is impossible. It all depends on the terms and conditions surrounding the divorce. Thank you very, very much. Thank you, everybody. So those are the comments I got before the beginning of this show. Now, for those, this is actually Beno Rant. This is where I just speak my mind and I just say what comes to mind, what I want to talk about, get it off my mind as fast as I could. But however, for the people who like to contribute to this topic, because this is actually a very critical one, These are the things that is happening in our daily lives. We have two ways you can join the show. You can either join the show through StreamYard, or you can call our direct line, our hotline, which is 737-297-0067, to be part of the show. Now, more comments are coming in. My sister CC. Oh, I know. I can always count on these sisters to help me break this down. So CC say, in an ideal situation, both should agree where possible, but sometimes it isn't. Oh, but sometimes it isn't so. The person who has the kid most should have final say. Absolutely, that's a good one. And Honey Babe said, "Can you send link to UK people, please?" All right, I'm gonna put the link in the VIP group first, because those are the people who are actually our channel supporters. They are the group members, and their take is priority. So I shared the link in our WhatsApp group already, and then I will share it publicly here later. So let us quickly look at a couple of things here, because I know some people will just see the title of the video, and once they see that the freeze image, they will just go ballistic. So may we never go that side. I see you, my sister Honey Babe is here already. So definitely Honey Babe will be my co-host. Thank you. So let me quickly, before I bring Honey Babe in, I see you, sister. Welcome. Thank you. So let me quickly make something clear from the onset. And I will try as much as possible. I'm not a biased person. I just try to address issue from both sides. So first, I want to address the freeze scenario before we get into this. What I found common after watching several shows is that people are quick to kind of judge Daddy Freeze for failing to take care of his children, which of course he deserved that judgment, and he deserved however people cast him. And while I say that, it's not because I'm supporting the people who cast Daddy Freeze for ignoring his children. The reason I say that is that Daddy Freeze has not been approaching this issue maturely. On several occasions, Daddy Freeze will go on his show and he will drag his ex-wife to filth. He will call her name. It was just telling us one side of the story. So many times on his show, he will say, I haven't seen my kid and I don't care. I don't bother. There's no need to see them. Whatever happens, happens. When they grow up, if they need me, they know where to find me. He will just be saying all kinds of things that I don't agree with personally. As a father, this is not an issue you should bring to social media and you try to make money with it. So that is where I agree with people who are trolling him. Now, on the other hand, I kind of disagree with the people who said he's irresponsible, he doesn't do this or that. And this is why I kind of disagree with them. As a man, I believe if you are divorced and you and your ex figure out your co-parenting stuff, so far so good, you guys are in the same country. You have no excuse whatsoever to not be part of your children's life. I will never ever subscribe to that. If you and your ex are in the same country, it doesn't matter whether you guys are in different states. As a father, you have to do everything within your capacity to take care of your children. Now, there can be issue. Maybe your ex want to put the children in private school and you can't afford the private school. You can say, okay, I can't pay for private school, but this is what I have to offer. Now, if you guys are having issue on that, in that regard, it is understandable. But to completely ignore your children, that is a no-no. So that is where I disagree with the people who are trolling Daddy Freeze, because that the Freeze ex took those children out of Nigeria and relocated them to, I think, either Canada or US. That is unacceptable. And according to the one-sided story we heard so far, it's like Daddy Freeze was not part of that decision to relocate the children abroad. There was no consent from him that said, okay, let the children go. I would play my part. And I think because of the other side of the story we've heard from a couple of bloggers, that the Freeze and his ex, it seems they are in a DV relationship, and the woman just want to take the children far, far, far away from him. And we all know how it goes. When divorce happen, women, we always want to protect their children. Just their female instinct, we just kick in, and they just want to protect their children naturally, you know. Now, as I'm rounding up before we start taking comment and all that, I want to say this. For the men, especially African men, we do have this belief that if you take our children away, at one point in their life, the children will locate their dad. I think that is absolutely correct if we are talking about Gen X and millennials. But in this case, in these days of Gen Z and Gen Alpha, the reverse is the case. Once those children are gone and you are not making any effort to reach them, to provide for them, you will lose them forever. Okay? Since you don't start to since you don't start, please. So what I'm saying is that back in the days, our fathers, we ignore our mom. Once they are divorced, father will just bone the mama and the pikin and say, you know what, you guys can do whatever you want. I don't care. And when we grow up, Gen X like me, when we grow up, we so much desire that fatherly bond, that father and son, father and daughter relationship, that we easily forgive them of however they treated our mom, whatever they did to us, no matter how we were ignored. We simply forgive those our papas, and we just say, you know what, he's still my dad, even though he didn't do much, even though he's a deadbeat dad, but he's still my dad. I forgive him. And I think religion did a number on us as far as that is concerned. So we always go back and look for our dad. But you see, this Gen Z, I can never get over these Gen Z people, because I'm raising Gen Z myself. And I know it's not easy. The way their thought process is way different. These children are wired so different from people from us and other people who are from my generation. So Gen Z, we ignore you. If they don't see you being active, taking care of them, providing for their needs, they will just ignore you and forget about you completely. So please, men, take note of that. Now, for women, okay, it's cool. We know that women are trying. In fact, like I was telling my blogger this morning before I started this show, I said there are women nowadays that when you treat them badly and they decided to leave the marriage, forget it. These are not women of old generation that will just sit back and do nothing. When these women goes and they take their children with them, they will take care of those kids. They will raise those kids in a way that even you as the man, you can't do 60% of what they will provide for the kids. These women of these days, they will work their butt off. They will put the children in good schools. They will literally single-handedly raise those kids. So why am I bringing this up? If you have issue with your ex and you guys end up in divorce, bro, you have to move to the second zone, which I call zone 2. And zone 2 is all about co-parenting. It's all about being an active dad. If you feel like just because what we were doing before, back in those days, what our fathers were doing, and they will say, you know, I would do nothing. She has to come and beg me. These women of these days, they will not come and beg you. They are smart, they are educated, and many of them are entrepreneurs. They are professionals. They won't come and beg you. Once there is divorce, bro, move to zone 2. Zone 2 means that you now become a co-parent. Zone 2 means that you want to still play your part. In fact, you want to do more than you were doing when you and your ex were in that marriage together. So that is my take on this. However, I have a link to share with you guys, because while I was researching for this show, I look at the legal implication of taking children out of the country. So for those who are in this situation right now, maybe you are going through your divorce, and part of your plan is that I'm going to relocate to UK. I will take my children to Canada. I will go to US. I will go to Europe. Their father will never see them. Good. But here's the thing. I want you to bear in mind that you are committing a crime if you do that without the consent of your ex. And how do I know that? I need you can click the link I just shared now. This is the link to the Hague Convention on the Civil Aspect of International Child Abduction. I'm coming to Honey Babe. I just quickly want to get this off my mind so that people can actually get the value in today's show before we deliberate on the matter. So let me show you this website. I shared the link already. I need you to go through that link and read everything about taking childs out of the country when you have joint custody or without no joint custody, and what are the implications if you take a child out of the country without the other parent consent. Number one, you are committing a crime, and that crime is known as international child abduction. Now, when my sisters, Didi is here, thank God. You see, we always have lawyers in the building. Welcome, Didi. Thank you, my sister. Thanks for being here. So you are committing this crime known as international child abduction. And how do you get there? The moment you take that child out of the country, you process the paper, the passport, everything, the visa, without the consent of your partner. You are committing a crime, and it is known as international child abduction. And what could happen is that if your ex is very petty, your ex can actually file a lawsuit based on this act. And this is a treaty that was signed by so many countries, a lot of countries. And in case you don't know, for the benefit of those who are watching now, let me quickly highlight some of the countries that are part of this agreement. It's called the Hague Convention countries. As you can see from my screen, almost all the popular countries in the world are part of this agreement. You have Albania, Argentina, Armenia, Australia, Bahamas, Belarus, Belgium, Brazil, and so on and so forth. But the one I want to highlight, which is the one Africans run to easily, is number one, Canada. Okay? If you look at the screen, you can see it right there, boldly, Canada. So in case you think, I will just take the children and go to Canada, I cannot come there. If you have a very bad manner ex, if your ex is the type that is still reeling in anger, is still pained for you leaving him or her, and now you took the children out of the country, your ex can actually, if you take them to Canada, your ex can work with a lawyer and they can get you deported because you have just committed a crime. Also on the list, you have Denmark, Czech Republic, all of those, but you have France, Germany. The list go on and on. But I just want to show you guys the main popular countries that Africans usually run to. United Kingdom is there. The UK. You can see it right there. UK is part of this agreement, international agreement. So if you go to UK, the hands of the law can still reach you. You have just kidnapped those children and took them to United Kingdom. And immediately after UK, you can see right there, United States of America is part of this convention. So if you take the children out of the country and you bring them to the US, your partner can still sue you and, if possible, get you deported with the children. But I don't think that would be the case, because most time we Africans, even though those fathers are like Mugu Park and all that, fathers still have soft spot and mothers have soft spot. They can feel like, you know what? Make I not deport them. I don't want my children come back. I don't like Nigeria. Okay, let me just leave the children there to be growing. But this is what some African dads might do. I know African dad, the stubborn one, just like Daddy Freeze, they will not reach out to the children and they won't even reach out to you. You're gonna be taking care of them all by yourself. So please, I don't want you to be in that zone. Make sure you talk to your partner. All right. Now, that is my traditional lawyer argument. Didi, Sister Marriott, Misty, all the learned fellow in the building, forgive me. I just gave my submission now. How lawyer I think they talking for concept? My Lord, ladies and gentlemen, the jury, this is my submission. Nobody should take children out of the country without their partner's support. Now, my honey babe, thank you for being here. Let me get your thoughts, honey babe, on this matter real quick.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. I have a final order for my youngest son. And one of the important notices on the final order, I'm not going to give details of the child because of it's for confidentiality, but I want to just break down some things on my final order. One of them says, it's a criminal offense to take a child out of the UK without the consent of everybody with parental responsibility unless the court has given permission. Now, one thing I want to make people aware, we don't call it custody anymore because they believe by saying custody, you're emphasizing possession and control. So in the UK, we call it child arrangement order. And what they said is that even if you're not living with the child, you have parental responsibility. You understand? Custody was established. There's no such thing as custody or full custody of a child. The term was abolished in the Children's Act 1989 when this came into force in 1990. Custody was abolished because it implies possession and control. The family court now make child arrangement orders, which all they do is recall the time that each parent spends with a child. They do not grant or imply any greater control over major decisions in a child's life, such as example, where the child should attend school. So basically, what it is that if you both have parental responsibility, even if the child is not predominantly with you, you still have parental responsibility and can make major decisions in relation to health, education, and religious upbringing. Now, I'm going to go to the end of my court order, and one of them is in regards to holidays. So in my court order, what we have to do is that if any party wishes to take the child for holiday abroad during their time with him, they are at liberty to do so, but there's conditions, which is no later than 7 weeks. Each party has to inform the other party of details of the proposed holiday, including flight tickets, return ticket, contact details, and telephone number. Okay? That's my court order. So what I'm trying to emphasize to anybody is that even if the child is not with you, the other parent, if you now want to take the child on holiday, either has an agreement and there's a provision that if both parents cannot agree, it goes back to court.
Okay. Hello, honey babe.
Yeah, I'm listening. Sorry. Yeah. Now that I have a final order, so I'm not I'm just trying to make you understand that in terms of Nigeria, maybe there's different laws and stuff, but in terms of what you said regarding the Hague Convention, which Canada and a lot of Western countries adhere to, you cannot take a child out of the country without the consent of the parent. If you do decide to take the child out of the country without the consent, you are committing a crime. And if they catch you, you will be sanctioned based on that. Even if the parents cannot agree, you're supposed to go back to court. And the judge, if you cannot agree, will make a final judgment.
That's good. Thank you. And because you mentioned vacation, I
Yeah.
quickly want to read some of the comments I got when I post this on my social media handle. I share it on my Facebook account, Beno Rant, and I also share this to African Podcast on Facebook. And I got this comment from my sister, Auntie D, and she was actually chatting from her business page, Anike's Boutique. So for those of you who are in the US, if you want very good fabric, well-tailored material, you can reach out to Anike's Boutique. They deliver anyhow you want it, and those clothes are good. Now, that's by the way. So D replied to my post, and she said this. She said, I have done, let me quickly, okay. She said, I have done it before. There was nothing stated in the divorce decree that I have to take his consent for that. And I choose to be silent about it until my legs and my kids' legs hit the floor of the airplane.
Can I interrupt you there? With divorce, I know in the UK, and someone can confirm other countries, divorce is separate to child arrangement orders. Divorce is to do with divorce and maybe property. Child arrangement, which is normally part of the divorce process, is discussed separately.
Oh, so if people divorce and they did not have this legal child arrangement,
you need to obviously go to court. You would file, and then one is it's the same thing as divorce. One will be the person that actually does it. One will be the respondent, and you would go to court if you can't obviously agree. But you would have, it's a legal process. It's separate from divorce. I'm only talking for the UK. Maybe America, you do everything together. But my divorce was separate to my child arrangement order. That's what I'm trying to say. Totally separate.
Yeah. As far as the US is concerned, I really don't have in-depth knowledge on divorce and as well as child custody arrangement. My knowledge of both divorce and child custody arrangement is what I hear people who have gone through divorce and who are into child custody arrangement are discussed during men hangout. So let me continue with this comment from Auntie D. So Auntie D said, away to Australia. When I made the call, I'm so glad I didn't ask first. Well, the kind of she said, when you know the kind of ex you are dealing with, this one Hugo. Thank you, Auntie D. It's long, but I like the take. So Auntie said, when you know the kind of ex you are dealing with, you're to make the best decision that is in the best interest of the kid. I made a decision to do that, and then the consequences. I wasn't bothered about paying court fees for giving my kids a good vacation. Wow. Wow. I like that.
Like I said, everybody makes their choices, but what I will say is that if you're saying to me about an ex, my ex really dealt with me in the sense that I was going back and forth. But in hindsight, as much as I was aggrieved, as much as I was angry, he has the right, because he's the father of my child and he has parental responsibility to do that. Obviously, it hurt me financially, emotionally, and everything, but he has the right as he's the father of the child. Unless there's safeguarding issues in terms of abuse, I really don't, as far as I'm concerned, there's no excuse for stopping a father or a mother from seeing their child when you divorce.
All right. Thank you for that. So Auntie D went ahead and said, when it comes to my kids, I can break rules and be as I care without no ear. That is dev. I can't deny my kids of having a good childhood memories because the dad will say no to the idea just to sabotage my effort out of jealousy because he can't afford the vacation for the kids. I'm not saying my way of handling things is perfect, but that is my way. If it serves my kids best, I'll do it. Auntie D.
Sorry, I just want to clarify. Did she take them away on a holiday without permission, or she basically absconded with them? Could you? I didn't quite hear it.
not obscured. I think what happened was that Auntie D is just like Auntie B.
Yeah.
Auntie D, I know her very well. She's one of my big sister here in Austin. In fact, when I'm doing anything, I quickly reach out to Auntie D. Like, Auntie, how we go? So she did not abscond with the kid. Auntie D just like to have fun, go on vacation. And based on what she told me so far is because she knew if she had seek the consent of her ex might probably not give his approval for her to take the children for the holiday. So that's just what she said. So also oh man, I just like our VIP. The VIP is coming, is becoming bubbly now, more interesting. So my sister Cece, let me read Cece's comment VIP group. So Cece said, depends on the reason for taking them out of the country. What if she has a lucrative job opportunity and kids will have a better life abroad? Then
you still have to seek permission of the court. You can't just take them.
Okay. Thank God my Cece is here. Cece will emphasize. She will explain more on that. So still reading from the chat. Cece said, I'm not with my son's dad anymore. I will ask his opinion, but ultimately the final decision will be mine because I am the person that is with him 24/7, not his dad. And he should understand that any decision I make, like that wouldn't have been made lightly. Now, I think
disagree with that because I just said to you, legally, that's not a defense. Whether the child stays with you, you have to seek permission before you take a child out of the country. I've just said that in my court order. You can't just do that. I know it makes sense because the child is with you, but the court has a different insight. You can't just take a child.
Okay, thank God my CC says, I know she might be at work now. If not, she would have responded. But the good thing is we now have the VIP group. So in the VIP group, if we have any show, you are busy at work and you want to contribute, you can always reach out back to me. You can send your message in, your comment, your opinion, thought. You can send them into the group, or if you want it to be recorded and shared so other people can learn, I can actually record your section and I can post it later. So I believe CC will help us respond to that. Now, let me take a couple of comments here. Oh, people are actually looking at my clothing. Mudaron. All right, let me take some comments. My sister D said, everything you said is 100% correct, Uncle Beno. Thank you, D. This one where D agree with me. Hey, be like say my traditional law they work. I have my LLB BBS. Hey, don't try me with my coconut head. All right. This said Nigeria, however, is not signatory to the convention, so there might be issues for Nigerians enforcing this. Oh, Didi. I might need you to help me clarify this. If Nigeria is not a signatory to the convention, and yet the kids were taken to a country that are part of the convention, are you saying the parent cannot file? I need that clearance, please, D, if you can help us with that, so that people who might be on that.
You can still report it. I think you can still report it. Whether you get the child back is a different situation, but I think you can still report it if in the country that you're in, if the assumption that you're in the UK or the US or Canada.
Yeah. So my sister here, Marriott, shout out to Marriott, please. Marriott said parents are kidnapping children, but if it's a woman, so we shrug.
We don't do gender war here, please. Let's not start that one.
No. It's not gender war. I think I get the point she's saying, because that is why I actually wanted to bring this topic back for discussion. I see where it was going, not just only when Auntie B did a show on it. I've seen it for like 3 platforms now. Even on Nezevai, the comment section was like a war zone, people are really making, I think people are confusing this matter somehow. And it looks like when a woman does it, it's
okay.
fine. She's probably.
Yeah, I just checked. Nigeria is not party to the Hague Convention on the Protection of Children and Cooperation. They're not. Yeah, you're right.
All right. So, yeah, on that one, that is where I want Dee to help me clarify. Thank God Dee is here. If Dee is not available, Dee is here. She can help me do that. Or I can also reach out to Sade and Miss Misty to just get their opinion. What I want to know as far as that is concerned is that if Nigeria is not part of the agreement, the convention, and the kids were taken to those countries that are part of the agreement, can a parent still go ahead and file a lawsuit? I don't know what they call it in law, but can a parent actually take legal action to let the country of residence, the country of relocation, knows that, hey, somebody took my children to your country and I did not give consent. I want my children back. So I need a lawyer to help us clear that. So coming back to what my sister Marriott said, we have to start looking at matters objectively and remove our emotions from it. Like I've said on multiple occasions here, I'm a consequentialist. I believe so much in consequences. I believe that your action will trigger a reaction. So if you want to treat people, if you want to do anything, try to stand on the other person's shoe and figure it out that, okay, if somebody did this to me, will I take it? And that will put you in a better position to understand what the person you are about to treat it somehow will feel. You feel me now? So when it comes to issues like this, I've seen it over and over again, whereby when a man did something, we call that man to order. We want him to take accountability, and thank God accountability prefect is here. And then when a woman does the exact same thing the woman did, it becomes, who knows what the man did? Maybe the man was wrong. So please, I think Sister Mario made a very, very valid point there. We're going to have to start, if we really want to make a change, and if we want those who are coming after us, those children we are having now, if we want them to act right, we're going to start calling these things the way it is. So that is why I said my verdict on the case between Daddy Freeze and his wife is that, hey, Daddy Freeze could be whatever he is right now. I'm not a fan. I don't like how he talks and do all that, but still he's a father, and it is still within his right to give consent if he wants his children taken abroad or not. Now, based on who and how I see Daddy Freeze on the screen and how I've seen him talk to people, the way he behaves, I don't think Daddy Freeze is that kind of a man that we actually give consent to his ex-wife to take those children out of the country. I may be wrong, but that is the energy I'm getting from him. He doesn't look like a man who will say, okay, well, you can take the children. Let's talk about how we're going to take care of it. He will never, ever be part of that, especially with everything I've said so far. We can almost, even though with the wife not talking, with the ex not talking, we can actually pinpoint what and where he went wrong and the kind of mess he might have created when they were having that back and forth before they are divorced. So I don't think he's that kind of man who will agree that the woman should take the kids abroad. Now, in defense of the wife, I can say this. Everybody in Nigeria wants to japa. Whether we want to admit it or not, it's not my cup of tea. A lot of people in Nigeria want to jackpot. Even the rich, they jackpot, because sometimes when we talk about people relocating out of Nigeria, we thought, oh, it's only people who are struggling, it's only the middle class. No, even our billionaires, many of them have houses abroad. Almost all the stars you have in Nigeria now, all the celebrities in Nigeria, they all have houses. They are living in abroad. They only go to Nigeria when they want to produce something, or maybe they have a business going on. So everybody wants to jackpot. And that's why I'm saying that in defense of Daddy Freeze's ex-wife, I don't blame her one bit, because which woman, for those watching right now, please tell me if I'm wrong, who will be in Nigeria as a mother and you have the connection, you have the opportunity to take your children out of Nigeria so they can live in a better environment. And you will say, because my ex will not consent, I won't take them. I don't see any woman doing that in Nigeria. I'm sorry, that's just my opinion. So let me quickly go back to the chat and see what's going on. Oh yes, thank God Cece is here. My Cece
in the building.
Soft
Hey
life.
guys, happy Friday. How's everybody? You guys are high energy, huh? Brother Ben, are we doing Friday date nights, huh? With this your suit. With your suit on.
Don't mind
He's giving us steez. Huh?
don't mind me. You know the way it is. Once you are married for quite some years, your wife become your boss. So my wife is the one that said, if you are doing show, you have to look corporate. You have to, and I'm like, babe, just let me wear my t-shirt jacket. And no, because my wife is there when people called me, and she'll be like, is it this thing you are playing with that people have started? I say, babe, now so she's like, you have to look corporate, you have to look decent.
I love it. Actually, I love it. I see support in the background. Thank you, sis. We love that. We love this look. It's giving. And our traditional brother even wore pink. Wow.
I know, right?
I'm surprised.
For the ladies.
I'm surprised.
What can I do? Is the combination she picked for me now. What do you want make I do?
It looks good. You look good.
Thank you.
You're entering our eyes, huh?
Yay!
Okay, so you know what, my point that I made was actually similar to what you're saying now. I don't agree with parents taking their children without the consent of the other person, basically abducting the children. I don't agree with it at all. The comment that I made was more in respect to, if you had an opportunity and you wanted to take, obviously, if you've got a job abroad and let's say you're living in Nigeria, it's the Japa thing that you were just talking about. If the person now has a really good opportunity to leave the country, I thought if your ex-partner is that type of malicious person, to be like, oh, well, I don't want the person to go because they want to sabotage that opportunity for you. Then in that circumstance, I'll be like, oh, well, oh boy, I'm buying my ticket for my kids and we'll let you know when we get to where we get to. At that point, I'm not going to seek consent. I feel like if the person is malicious in that way, but that's why I was saying that, if the person had a lucrative opportunity and they needed to go, if the ex-partner is just a malicious person and wants to sabotage that, then I feel like, unfortunately, you have to do what's best for the kids, because they're not really putting the children's best interest at the forefront of that decision. They're doing it to stop you progressing in like more of a malicious way, right?
Yeah, so I agree.
That's where I came from. Yeah. So
but
that's
the
what I was
funny
just
thing
like.
Is that I hear what you're saying, but if you have an ex that has, obviously his head is correct, then of course he'll be happy, he'll be happy for you. But there's some exes that will want to sabotage you. But what I'm saying, in terms of me going through the legal process, if I decide to now take my child to Canada, I have to get consent from the father, and he will take me to court. So we have to go through court where the judge will make a judgment, and obviously I'll present my evidence, and and he can now say, no, you're not taking the child. I know it's not fair, and I agree with you, Cece, because I've been in the legal process. I see what goes on. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I think there is a consideration here where you can, like, if your partner is just doing that. So, for example, if somebody had a job opportunity, you can present your case to court, and then the court can decide and say, okay, you know what, this lady actually got and can give the consent, regardless of if the dad
I'm saying is that. What I was saying when I was reading I was reading my court order in terms of warnings and conditions. It says that if we don't agree in terms of, we have to go back to court. Everything is going back to court.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah.
All right.
And actually, sorry, Bren, actually, to defend, I mean, I'm not a DF fan. I don't follow the person. I don't really support a lot of his content, but he did say he can't be that bad and that malicious, because he said one of the reasons that he's not pursuing like the relationship with his kids is because he realized that, you know what, where she's taking the kids to Canada, they're actually better off there. That's why he's not pursuing the legal route to bring the woman back because she lied on her application. So for that, I think we need to give him a bit of a bit of grace, that you know what, even though maybe he wouldn't have agreed initially, who's to say he wouldn't have agreed? He hasn't pursued the woman and dragged her back to Nigeria when he probably could. So
yeah, I agree with that. I'm not a DF fan, but I agree that for all you know, he may have actually have agreed because it's a better life for them, better opportunities, but she didn't give him that option.
Yeah, exactly. So
all right. Thank you, Cece. Thank you, honey babe. In fact, I can listen to you guys all day long because you all bring it 100. So Auntie D is here. Sister Dolakwa actually give us a follow-up. Thank you, Auntie D. God bless you, ma. Sister D said, you remember when I was reading Auntie D's comment from our VIP chat? She said, I didn't seek consent before buying ticket, but I told him on our way out. And she also followed up by saying, because he's bitter and petty, and we say a big no to it just to make me mad, and because he's not financially able to give the kids such vacation. So I think in this case, I agree with what Auntie D is saying here. Obviously, Auntie D is not eloping or maybe absconding with the
I
children.
agree, but you know, the thing is, she's lucky that he didn't take her to court. Like I said, we're amicable now. You know, we're in a good place. But what I'm trying to say is that I've been in a place where my exes can be petty and take you to court for everything. So she's just lucky that her ex did not take her to court, even regarding a holiday.
Okay. I'm also trying to see D's take on that Nigeria not being part of the signatory and what will happen. Okay, D was responding to Luke here, and D said, both parents should ideally have equal rights to the child. It is only in extreme circumstances that one parent might be denied. Still, they are entitled to know about the well-being of the kids. Then D follow up with another comment, and she said, Nigeria is, however, not signatory to the convention, so there might be issues for Nigerians enforcing this. D, I don't know if you want to please come and help me make this make a lot of sense.
Before she comes on, can I say something? I've literally gone on to a legal, because I did law as a degree, so I always got legal stuff. But it says there's currently no treaties in place between UK and Nigeria. But under Nigerian law, it's possible to get foreign orders recognized and enforced in Nigeria. They basically say that if you're in the UK or in a foreign country, it's better for you to seek court orders in the country that you're in, because you can put pressure in terms of the UK can probably do court orders to pressure location of your child, to pressure them, maybe, if they've got houses in Canada and they abscond to Nigeria, they can take the houses. So they say avoid any court proceedings in Nigeria that relate to your child before getting UK orders. So it seems to be that you should get an order, but whether you'll get your child back is a different case.
All right. This said, yes, Uncle Beno, there are two preconditions for the application to work. One, the child must have been adopted to a Hague Convention country, one of the ones you listed. Okay, thank you, D. D is actually helping me break it down better. Hey, I wish my traditional law can cover all these things. Nigeria is not a signatory to the treaty, so they would have issues with jurisdiction and enforcement. No wonder I see a lot of men, because I actually have a lady, she reached out to me last year. She was in this same predicament. Her husband, they were both married in Nigeria. Then her husband married another lady. The lady has 2 kids before got married. And then the lady has connection to Canada, her family people. So when she applied for Canadian visa, they approved it for both the husband and wife. So by the time they were traveling, the husband tricked the lady that contacted me into signing a lot of documents from the embassy. Unknown to her, she have signed one of those documents that actually allowed the husband to travel with the children. So she didn't know until when they got to Canada, because it's a case of two wives situation now. So when they got to Canada, initially for the first 6 months, she was able to talk to her children. They would FaceTime and all that. And then after 6 months, they started limiting her access to the children until they completely shut her down. She couldn't reach the children.
But in the meantime, did she try not to go to court in the country that she was in?
In Nigeria.
Okay, Nigeria. All right, I forgot.
Nigeria.
No problem. I forgot. It's okay. Continue, Jade.
Nigeria. So when she tried to talk to the husband, at the point the husband just tell her that the children will talk to you when I have time. You know, it was so devastating. And as a parent, she was doing everything she can, but she couldn't figure it out. So she happens to be a member of my Facebook group, Sharing is Caring, and then she inbox and tell me about the whole situation. And I told her I really don't have any legal advice I can give her, but I can direct her to some people who can actually help her. So when she spoke to some lawyers in Nigeria, the option they gave her was that if they apply pressure, the husband may end up being deported alongside with the children. And on the one hand, she doesn't want that. So I now advise her, okay, I think the best thing you can do is get people who can speak to your husband. When you get people who can talk to your husband, then your husband... Are they
still married? You're mentioning husband. They're still married?
Yeah, it's Nigeria now. I think I don't really want to tell her what I thought was going on. You know, you can't go to Nigeria, Canadian embassy and submit to marriage certificate. It's not possible. So since the new wife is the one that processed this, the new wife was the one who has the legal status as the wife. So I told her, in this case, there's nothing you can do because the man already moved on. The man was, while the man was still paying for her house and everything, at a point, the man stopped paying for the house she lived in Nigeria. And he was telling her, go back to your parent and other. So I try not to tell her the truth, but at a point, I just feel like, you know, this is not me. Let me just tell her what I think is going on. So I told her point blank that, look, your husband has moved on. If this man stopped paying and he told you that you should move out of the house and go to your family house, already you are, this man don't divorce you, you don't even know. He probably have divorced you before he left Nigeria for Canada. So a lot of people are in situations like this. I remember one time during Auntie B show, there was this trendy video then of a woman that I think the husband took the children to go and meet her at the airport. And right from Heathrow Airport, the woman collected her children and left the man. You know, I don't know, maybe you guys remember that story.
I remember that one, yeah.
One time. So a lot of people are in this situation. And I know every time mothers will be the one who want to take their children. They will say, if you want to buy them, but they are not leaving their children. Welcome, Mo Fresh. Mo Fresh is here. Thank you, my sister.
I think the issue is that they really need to overhaul the laws in Nigeria, that it actually, if you do have court orders, it has to be, it has to go through. You can't just ignore it. I don't know. Nigeria is a different place. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Nigeria is
I'm stuttering because I don't even know what to say regarding Nigeria. It's something else.
It's a different place. And that's why I love my country. My country now, who get money now in the win case.
Yeah, it's really sad that your friend is going through that, because Nigerian laws, what's the point of having all these judges and courts? The laws need to work.
I think they have to overhaul several aspects of Nigeria.
Definitely.
We want to move forward. Auntie D said, so how is the best interest of the kids being a priority when exes use them as tools to fight?
And that's why, exactly. I've been through that, but you have to you have to take the higher ground. I've been through it. Like I said, I've just give you details of my final court order, which happened in 2021. And like I said, it was hard, but you have to take the higher ground. And I know it's hard with the anger, the frustration. Why is your ex doing this? They're being petty, but you have to take the higher ground. And it's all about the best interest of the child. My child is now 9 and he's happy because he sees two parents co-parenting, and he sees two parents that get on as much as they can get on for exes.
Cece, please, what is your take on this one? Because this is actually a very, very good question. In fact, I'm going to let me highlight this question so I can.
I'm here.
Please, what is your take on this one? Because this is actually a very, Cece, very I hear your TV. In fact, I'm going to let me highlight this question.
Highlight the question, please.
We are getting your TV feedback.
Oops, I'm echoing. Hold on 1 second.
All right, thank you. So,
Sorry.
Said,
you can hear me now. It's better now.
Yeah, it's better now. So, Auntie D said, how is the best interest of the kids being priority when X use them as tools to fight each other? What's your take on that one? Because this is actually what a lot of exes are doing. So, what's
my take? I think when you start pitting the kids as the pawn amongst each other to like do one-upmanship, then I think both parents have kind of they've lost the plot. You know, because I don't think you should use the kids as a pawn just to say, oh, okay, well, because you can't afford for the person to go on holiday, you now hold the kids, or you take the kids abroad and then deny them access to their dad. I think it's not fair and it's not right, and it's not the best thing to do. It's always the best interest of the children, where possible, have both parents co-parenting, right? Whether it's in the same country, it's abroad, whatever, it's always the best interest of the kids. So if you can try and be amicable and put the kids, if you're putting the kids first, then whatever makes them happy should be both of your priority. Exactly, right? Not scoring points against each other or trying to hurt the other person, but then using the kids, because ultimately they're the ones that are suffering. They're the ones that will miss out on the access or the relationship with the mother or the father or whoever's taking them away. Or when you say to your partner, your ex, that, oh, you're going to stop them taking children on holiday, you're taking away that opportunity from those kids to have those experiences that they probably won't get again. You know, when you're young, you have those memories of traveling, like maybe your friends at school are going on holiday, but because your dad is being petty and refusing your mum to take you on holiday because he can't afford to, that's how is that the best interest of the children? So I feel like when parents get like that, they should just try and be amicable and put their differences aside, focus on what's best for the kids. Making memories, traveling is good for kids. So if your partner can afford to do it, fantastic, let them go, but have the condition that they come back within a certain amount of time. Involve the other person. Do you understand? So that once they know the plan, they should be less likely to push back. When I travel with my son, I've never asked my son's dad a day in his life about consent.
Wow.
I think because your one is reasonable, you've not got to a stage of court.
I know, but I've never even thought of asking him for consent. We're not together. I've never thought, oh my God. Yeah. And they've never asked me either at the airport. Really funny, I travel with my son, and my mom has traveled with our son. She went on holiday with him this last half-term holiday that came up. They went away to Sweden for 1 week. I never asked his consent. So, you know, it's strange to me. They're traveling to Ghana in October. That holiday is booked. He just told me, I want to travel. You know, I want to book a holiday for me and our son for October. I said, yeah, fine. Half term is the best time. I was even the one that was looking for the flights, booked everything for them. I'm like, fantastic. I'm already planning my own getaway.
Yeah, your own getaway. Yeah.
Do you understand? So I've never even thought of asking his consent, to be honest. I just book and I go and we send him pictures, we come back, you know, but he knows that I can never take our son away and then just disappear. And even for me, there was a time when he wanted to take his first trip abroad with our son, when he was taking our son to Ghana. I was a little bit apprehensive. I was like, but I know his dad is not a mad person. He has too many things here to go and take our son and then disappear with him. Do you understand? So my mom was like, I don't think you should allow him. I'm like, Mom, I don't think his dad is not like that. Even if he is, I know where his house is. I can go and look for my son. Do you understand? So it's sad, but I'm grateful for the relationship that we have, where we don't even need to. If he wants to take our son on holiday, I'm like, yeah, please let me know. Even 2 weeks, take him. I'm happy, you know. But just put the kids' best interest first. His family, most of them is in Ghana. If I don't allow him to take his son, how will our son have a relationship with his family that's in Ghana? You know, it's selfish.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Sisi,
Yeah.
for saying all that, because this happens all the time. When
Yeah.
seeks divorce, when
Mm.
husband and wife divorce, nothing, they have nothing between them anymore except the
Mm.
children. And
Yeah,
then
and they want to fight.
they begin to weaponize the kid,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. You know what's funny, Brother Ben? When we first started going to court, I was angry. So I was like, yeah, if you go low, I go lower. This was the first, what was this, 2016, when it all kicked off in court. And then a social worker came and said, you know what? You need to stop fighting. She spoke to me. She spoke to my ex. Ever since then, we cooled down. It got to a stage of an external social worker because I was bitter. He was bitter. And the funny thing is that 3 years ago, he took my son to Nigeria. I'm happy. He's got his indefinite leave to remain. So I know he's not absconding with my child. I'm happy for him to take my child to Nigeria. I speak to him on Skype, photos, videos. I'm happy. We've got to a stage where we have both calmed down. The reason I always tell my story to make people understand is that it wasn't a walk in the park, getting to the place that I'm in now with my ex-partner co-parenting. It was toxic. It was crazy. But I had to realize, and especially with a social worker telling us when we was first fighting in 2016, you need to stop fighting. This is not healthy for the children. So a third party had to slap my face and make me realize that stop fighting. So when I'm saying all this, I'm not just talking, I've lived through it.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for always sharing your personal experience, because I think people need to hear this and hear it over and over again. Auntie D said in the chat, some ex are so malicious, petty, and jealous. They make decisions not because it's in the kid's best interest, but because it's going to make me mad. And a win for him is me getting mad. I agree. As a man, make I agree. This is what a lot of men do after divorce. May God just help us. And it's not okay. We got to do better as people. Sister Mo Fresh, I see you. You're looking for my trouble. You say I'm broke code 1000%. All right. As we're gonna be rounding up now, we're gonna be looking at what are the best solution to all this, because I'm getting tired of all this. And one thing I always recommend when we have boys hangouts and issues like this comes up, I always tell men that, look, you should know that when you are married and you are living with your wife, you guys are in zone 1. Zone 1 is the marriage. Everything is fine. But the moment there are issues that you can't resolve and you end up divorced, then you guys have moved to zone 2. And zone 2 comes with another set of expectations completely different from what you used to have. And I often give an example that the moment people get into zone 2, which is the divorce and co-parenting and all that going on, you should know that expectations and rules have changed. Your ex is no longer that person that you used to live with, that you used to have a say over. Now, your ex has her own agenda, just like you. She's living her life. You too, as a man, you got to live your own life. But remember, because you have these children between you, you have to figure out how to make it work. You have to take whatever sentiment and resentment you have against your ex, you have to take it aside and make the children the priority, because now you are in zone 2. And zone 2 is not a friendly zone. If you don't make deliberate and be intentional about whatever you are doing with your ex, the moment you are both in zone 2, it will hurt you for the rest of your life. I say this all the time during men hangout. And that is the energy I'm getting from Daddy Freeze. Whenever Daddy Freeze spoke about his ex and his children, I see that Daddy Freeze is not taking zone 2 very well at all. And he made a lot of mistake being in zone 2 before he moved on to zone 3. If you guys want, I can do a video and post about all these zones. Maybe it can help. Right now, Daddy Freeze is at zone 3, and he can't get over zone 2. So the simple explanation is that when you are married, you have children, you're living together with your wife and everybody, you are in zone 1. The moment you divorce and you have kids, that you now become a divorcee, you now become single mother, you become single dad, you are in your zone 2. And zone 2 comes with expectation and everything. By the time you found love again, when you find love again and you are starting another family, another journey with someone else, you guys have moved into zone 3. Now, when you see people who have problem in their first marriage, they have problem in second marriage, is because they cannot really manage their, what is the grammar they used to describe this thing? When you change position, it's just like you are in a job. Maybe you used to be a clerk, and now you are now they promote you to supervisor. Your job expectation and everything about being a clerk different from where you are now a supervisor. So that's just what I'm trying to explain here. When you are divorced, the moment you are divorced and you have not found love, you and your ex are cooperating and everything, you are in your zone 2. And how you manage your zone 2 will determine what will happen in your zone 3. Now that the freeze is on his zone 3, he is married again, he found love, he was lucky enough to meet a very good woman in taste bud. I don't know taste bud up close personally, but you can tell that if you see the way the woman have conducted herself, 3 kids, find another man, and the new man you find is not an easy man. I can tell you taste bud have taken a whole lot of shit marrying to DF. DF could be a different person entirely when it comes to marriage and love, but from the energy that bro gave out, you can tell that character boy, only deal. But for a woman like Taste Bud to marry him and try to make it work, Taste Bud display a good example of a woman who have left zone 1 to zone 2, and she figured herself out before she moved into her zone 3. But because Daddy Freeze mismanaged his zone 2, the zone 2 is now becoming the problem for his zone 3. That's why you see him. You saw the way he dragged the wife's ex-husband, right? What kind of man does that? You have 3 children made by this man with your wife, living under your roof, and you are dragging their father like that on social media. I don't get it. Like people have said, I think if DF has a very good friend or pastor, they need to talk to him. If you have a therapy or something, there are some things you don't do as a man. You don't do it. You have 3 children living under your roof. These are grown children. He has one beautiful girl, very pretty young girl like that, very smart girl. And you go online dragging her dad. Forget that maybe the children took you as their dad now because you are married to their mom. But that is still their biological dad. And you were dragging him, doing all sort of things. And again, if you are not dragging that man, you are dragging your own ex. Your own ex that has moved on a long time ago. When I was researching for this show, I combed social media looking for this woman's picture, that the Freeze X picture. This is the only picture I saw, and this is even like an old picture. Look at her looking beautiful. You can tell that this is a woman that has found peace just because he moved away from a man who is giving her headache. Now, this woman did not reply to Daddy Freeze with everything he's saying. That is a woman who has moved from zone 1 to 2, master zone 2, and now she's taking her zone 3 perfectly well. So if anybody don't take anything away from this show today, from my own traditional coconut head point of view, please pay attention to this zone I just spoke about now. When you are in marriage, things are going on between you and your partner, everything is sweet, you are in your zone 1. But life happens. And I've said it on multiple occasions that me, for one, Uncle Beno, I will never ever mock anybody who is divorced. Because even though I'm married, I know that God is the one that is holding all marriages together. Any small thing can happen, boom, your marriage is gone. Okay? So that is the way I see divorcees. When I see people who are divorced, I'll just say, well, no matter what the story is, this person did not start out being a bad person. Something happened in the marriage that they can't work out, they can't figure it out. And that is why she become a divorced person. So it doesn't take anything away from her. And I also said this, and if you're listening to me right now as a single mom, listen, time have changed. I tell my own fellow men, if you divorce a woman now and you are expecting that woman to be crying and lamenting, you are fooling yourself. The woman will go ahead and do great things. She will make her money, take care of her children. In fact, when you see herself, if you don't take time, it will turn to something, somehow, a kind of competition between you and the woman. Because she will just be crying high. And you go dead there, they still do bad belly. Oh, let me see how she gonna do it with the children. Bro, women are stronger than us. So a woman can leave you with 3 children and she will commit, she will sacrifice everything and raise those children. Those children will come out excellently great. I told you guys my own story before. When my dad passed, my mom had to raise 8 children all by herself. We are all doing great today. So a woman will do it. Now, if they carry 3 children, give you will be man. If woman run, leave you. I've seen that before. Where a woman will say, just because of the way a man treated her, she will just abandon the children for the man after divorce. Most of those children know they do well. Because when the man remarries, he will shift all his attention to the new wife and he neglect the children. But women don't do that. Even when women remarries with kids, they will still please their new husband and they will still take care of the children. So, brothers, we have to do better. Don't act like DFO, please. So all I'm just saying is that manage your zones. If you are in zone 2 is not always easy for people who are divorced. That is where all katakata we call. In fact, a lot of women go through so many stress after divorce because it's like the life they have planned that they're already following, the trajectory of their life now is gone. They have to start all over again. So zone 2 is always difficult. So please, if you are in zone 2, be calming down so that your zone 2 experience will not mess up your zone 3. If you don't heal, figure how you're going to handle matters and you now move to zone 3. Zone 2 will still come back and haunt you. That is when you start having problems. So that is just my take. As we're rounding up now, because I still have to go to where they are paying me salary, I see my sister Misty is here. Thank you, Misty. Thank you, Didi, everybody in the building. So let's start getting final words. Let's start with Honey Babe. What's your final words on all this?
I think a word to the wise is to say that you don't try as much as possible for the best interest of the child to try and co-parent. If you're always going to have disagreements. I've had it in the past. And if it gets to a stage where you can't be amicable, if you have the resources and you're in a territory where you can go to court and let the judge make the final judgment. But I think we need to be careful to use our kids as weapons. It's not good. It's all about the kids. And I've learned that since 2015, when I divorced my husband, and it's now 2014, so nearly 10 years. I've learned that the most important thing is your child, not your feelings.
Yeah. Thank you, Honey Babe. God bless you. I really enjoy you coming to the show. You are like my senior co-host. You and Sisi.
Honey Babe is giving it to us. Accountability prefect on all platforms. Thank you, darling. I agree. I think what Honey Babe, I was literally going to say the same thing, but maybe I'll take it from a slightly different angle, and I'll say, even before you get to court, I mean, when you were married with your partner, your ex, there must be somebody within the family that was somebody who is a mutual, somebody that they both mutually respect, right? So maybe utilize people within your circle who you respect, or somebody that you can call each other, that each person can call to order, right? Within the relationship or in the family, and use that person as the go-between to maybe manage the handover of the kids or manage instructions with the children. So at least if you and your partner can't agree on certain things, use that person. Maybe it could be an uncle that both of you will listen to. Both of you cannot do coconut head with, right? And that person will be the one that will come to you and say, oh, Brother Ben, your ex wants to take the kids away for holiday. This is the information. And then he will take the information back to that person, and maybe they'll present it in a way that's not combative, right? As opposed to when you now go to your husband, your ex, and say, well, I booked holiday for the kids, I'm taking them no matter what, is my way or the highway. It's already making the person, even if they didn't want to be combative, they're already going to come at you already in an aggressive way, right? So I think it's important to utilize people in your circle that you both respect to maybe coordinate the management and the communication of the kids, even way before you even get to court. I think sometimes that can help in these circumstances. But again, put the kids first. The kids' happiness is ultimate, and do things that you think, okay, you know what, if I was in this situation, would I want my ex to treat me this way? If not, then try and be reasonable. I think we can all be reasonable, and be a bit more flexible with each other, and then hopefully things can, you can work things out.
Yeah.
I really love the third party thing, because that definitely does make a difference. I mean, I've had third parties, but it's just a case where, on both sides, I'm not going to put it all on him. We were not ready to mediate, but definitely a third party. One thing I will say is that I'm basically what you don't want to do. Go to court, spend thousands, be emotionally and physically wrecked. I would advise everybody to try and mediate. Going to court is not a walk in the park. It's stressful and it's very financially draining. So everything that CC says, I definitely would agree. If you can, I know, your ex I try to make you understand it's not about your feelings, just for the child. Mediate. It will save you in the long run.
Exactly. Thank you. Man, this is
Brother Ben.
This is a very interesting topic. I see my sweet sister Misty. Sissy, do you know you and Misty, you speak the same way? Your voice,
really?
Everything. I tell you, if Misty
I think is Misty East African, because I was thinking she was East African.
Yeah,
is she? I know my East African sister, huh? No wonder.
But when Misty is like this, sometimes I don't even follow what she's saying. I'm just listening to that melody of her voice. And I'll be like, wow, is she singing? So Misty said, at Sisi, I have never comprehended how a man forgets his first child or children when he has a second woman. How cold does it get? Honestly speaking, I just got to be frank here. That this is where I give women credit. In as much as I love my brotherhood, I would defend my brotherhood to any length. I have to admit that men, we usually don't do well when it comes to divorce and second marriages, and there are children from the first marriage. We usually don't do well. And this is where I continue to tell my brotherhood that you have to figure out how to work with your wife, because after divorce, if you think you're going to marry another woman, and that woman will dedicate 100% of her time to your children from the first marriage. Some women can do it, but not all women know. So as a brother, you're going to struggle with that. And how your new wife treats your children also depends on the relationship between you and your ex-wife. I don't know how this goes with women, so I believe
that is very true. Very, very
true. It's true.
Just speaking from the point of view of a man here, how the relationship between you and your ex-wife will determine how your new wife will treat your children from the ex. If you are always fighting your ex-wife, definitely you will be saying nasty things in presence of your new wife about your ex-wife. And the more nasty things, the more nonsense things you talk about your ex-wife, it means you are selling your ex-wife cheap to the new wife. Now, the woman you have said that she's a nonsense woman, she's evil, she almost ruined me, now the children from that woman are in your home, even if you have joint custody. Even when the children are innocent, the new wife will be thinking, who knows what the children will be telling their mom when they go back to her. So it's like she will not be walking on eggshell around her own home. You get how she go be a bear, she go get to one point and say, you know what, I can't do this no more. And then she will start showing some attitude to the children. Now you have more trouble. That's why I said manage your zone 2 perfectly well so that it won't cause trouble in your zone 3. So men, we don't do well with that at all. I don't know how it is done with women. The only knowledge I have about when women have kids with their ex and their ex has remarried or the woman has remarried, that I know that the woman, a lot of women will try to balance their feelings and affections between their children from their former marriage and their new husband. But then I know that women still do better at raising those kids from their former marriage than men. However, a woman who is bitter, a woman who maybe the ex-husband has shown shaggy, and she now found this new husband that is treating her well. A lot of women would not even want those children to even come around you at all. They will, because if I'm lying, tell me, Sissy and Honey.
No, it's true. There's some mothers like that. Yeah.
A lot of women, after divorce, after a very toxic relationship, and they now find this new man that is treating them the way they want to be treated.
Yeah.
What will come in their mind that how I wish this my new husband is the father of my children.
I know. You can't say that.
If the man is really a good man, the man will even extend the love he has for that.
Yeah, we embrace your children. Yeah, he should embrace your children. That's the whole point of blended families.
Right? So now, your woman in new marriage now, the woman will be thinking, I don't want my ex to use his coconut head, his agbero way to come and destroy what I have going on here. So sometimes some women will actually deny children from meeting up with their ex just because they don't say the ex get wahala. The ex will literally, just like my auntie said earlier now, there are some men that they believe they won when they see their ex feeling sad. And that is a terrible situation. We don't want to be there. Thank you, everybody. I think we have to round up here because I got to go to work, but I really enjoyed the participation. I see you, my sister, Fola Prestige. Thank you for being part of today's show. And Misty, this question Misty asks is really a good one. I wish me too, I go research. Maybe I go find out why my gender are like that. Misty said, well, if the second marriage gives the children stability and the ex-hubby is toxic, why want to expose them to his environment? Thank you. This is just what I'm just saying right now. I've seen a lot of women do this. The same thing is going on between Daddy Freeze and his current wife. I think Daddy Freeze gave that current wife, taste bud, everything she wanted in her first marriage that she never got. She got attention. Daddy Freeze gave her attention. Daddy Freeze gave her a home. And then Daddy Freeze gave her something that I think a lot of women who have gone through divorce are seeking, but they rarely get after divorce. That is accepting her 3 children.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
For African man as well.
Thank you, Sissy.
Not every guy will do. As much as we've villainized and we say that Daddy Freeze in terms of his character, not every African man will take on 3 children from another man.
That's why I think even though Daddy Freeze attitude comes up somehow, we still need to give that bro some grace. We still have to give him some credit too. Make I not lie to you. I'm gonna be vulnerable now and be honest. I don't think I can marry a woman with 3 kids.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's the average Nigerian or African guy.
Be honest.
Yeah,
that is too much baggage for me to deal with.
Is that 3 kids because you have your own kids, or just 3 kids in general? If you were single with no kids.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
if she was single with no kids, or what do you say? Or because
no, if you were single with no kids, or
honestly,
if you have kids, would it be a problem?
Honestly speaking, if I'm single with no kids, I still can marry a woman with 3 kids. I can
understand that because you're single, but you don't have the same experience.
Yes.
So now, if you were divorced, would you get into a relationship with a woman with 3 kids, with your own kids as well?
Yes. This is a good question. If I'm divorced,
like Daddy Freeze and his ex and the wife now, that was their circumstance, isn't it?
Yeah. If I'm divorced and I have to marry a woman with 3 kids, those 3 kids has to be grown-up kids. I'm just gonna be honest.
Really? Are you kidding me?
I can't.
You don't want to do nappy and school runs.
No. I can't do kids under. I can't. They have to be grown up so that we can communicate. So that because I like to talk, I like to discuss issues. Okay, so if those kids are grown, I can talk to them. They can talk to me. They can see my intentions, and then you so much. When you marry a woman with kids under 10, it's a lot of work. I know.
But Ben, do you think
but I know people that have done
you're
it.
saying sorry? Do you think
Go
you're
on.
saying that because you want to come in not so much as a father figure or not so much as like a standing father, but you want to come in more as a friend when they're older, as opposed to like their father?
No, I want to come in as their
Mhm.
father. That is just
Okay.
But
Well, then why wouldn't you want to do the work then?
no, it's not easy raising kids, young kids.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you decided to be with that woman, she comes as a package.
Sissy, I already
No,
told
honey
you-
babe, honey babe.
honey babe.
Honey babe.
I already told you right now. You guys want to let this show drag, but let
Sorry.
me just iron it out.
Sorry, Ben.
Me as Uncle Beno,
Mm.
can't marry a woman with 3 kids under 10 years old. I can't. And I'm coming from a place of having with my experience of raising my own children,
Mm.
I knew what I have to sacrifice when my kids were under 10. I don't know if you get where I'm coming from.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. Don't want to go. You don't want to do that again. Yeah. So you'd make a conscious decision to have kids that are a bit older.
Yeah. I think what he's saying is that he wouldn't entertain a lady that had 3 kids under 10. But I think the issue is there's some men that would still entertain the woman and then start mistreating the child, or say that the child should go with the father. And that's where I have a problem. If you want the woman, you take everybody as part of that package.
Exactly. Like I said now, if I'm a divorcee and I want to remarry and there is a woman with 3 kids, I don't have no problem if those 3. So far, the last is 10 years plus. I don't have no problem because now it is easier to handle them. You can talk
that's
to them.
true.
You can give them
You can
direction.
talk to them. Yeah.
They can understand the situation. In fact, they can judge. Because
your intentions, yeah.
If that is in their life or not, they can judge. But when those kids are younger, a typical African man, anytime those children stressed him out, what we come to is that your father is somewhere now.
It's not insulting the job.
And you're stressing me.
And you know, we African men, we come with that mentality that when the children grow up, they will find their dad. So it will just be like saying you are walking in vain. You know, that kind of
But
thing.
the thing is, I can counter that because I have a friend of mine when her child is 20 and the child is in university and the stepfather and the mother in Canada, and the child has taken the stepfather as his more or less his biological father because the biological father has not been around for the past 20 years.
Oh, I can't even hear you. What happened?
Did you hear me?
No, you've gone low.
But the volume is low.
Sorry. I think someone was trying to call.
Okay. Maybe
we'll
we
let
should
Beno go. Do part two. Raising
okay, we'll do
stepkids.
part 2. We'll do part 2.
Tomorrow. Okay. I'm still going to work tomorrow, but I don't have school work tomorrow, so we can do a part 2 to this tomorrow and discuss marrying a woman with kids.
Or blended families.
Blended families.
Blended
families.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Yeah, blended families is a big thing in the UK.
Yeah. We can discuss blended family tomorrow. Although I have or maybe we'll move it to Sunday, whichever, because I have a show scheduled for tomorrow.
Whenever you're ready.
Sunday, yeah. Whatever, Brother Ben.
A friend who is single, he's as old as
Oh, yes, the one that's unmarried. Huh? I'm interested to hear his story.
I wanted to bring him and he should come and tell us why he's still single. He lives in New York. New York has beautiful women, and my brother couldn't find a wife in New York, so I want him to come. We're gonna have this men chat. You guys can just be on tomorrow. So please.
So he wants to do long distance relationship, Abby.
No.
Question mark.
No, I just wanted to do this show so that ladies can where men in Western world are coming from, especially African men.
Okay.
My friend is funny. You're gonna like him. He's a very funny guy because we've had all this conversation, but not on the show. When I say, "Oh boy, with all this babe, where did New York, where they hot, what happened? Now why you never marry?" And he'll be like, "What? New York wife?" I'm like, "Okay, you got to come to my show and tell us why you are not married." Oh, Misty said New York, Toronto, we share border. Very good, then. That means New York attitude go don't filter enter Toronto with that. Oh, thank you, everybody. I wish we can discuss that other part, but on Sunday, definitely, If my friend cannot make it tomorrow, then we'll do it tomorrow. If he can make it, then on Sunday, we will talk about blended family, and maybe we can learn something from that. Hopefully, we will be able to remove some of the fears that our brothers are nursing when it comes to dating women with children. Thank you very, very much, everybody who has been part of today's show. I appreciate you. Una no pop my money gone. Pop my money gone. I mean, not so that the freeze they talk am. If una go that the free side now, now go pop money gone. Pop my money gone. Pop my money gone. Thank you. I appreciate everybody who are part of today's show. The lesson we learned today is that if you have to take children away to another country, please seek your partner's consent. Let them be part of the decision to relocate the children. And there are some implications if you do that without seeking their consent. I'm so grateful to CC and Honey Babe. These are like the pillars of my channel, with many other brothers and sisters who usually come to help me make sense of this matter. So, like I said, if you want to be part of the show, if you get to watch this show after now, and you feel like you have something to say, you can reach out to me. This number here is for Uncle Beno's channel. I bought this phone and I bought a phone and this number to dedicate to this channel. So please, you can text me or reach out to me on WhatsApp, or you can text me your views. Just let me know. Make reference to the show you want to comment upon, and then I will do a follow-up show where I can share your comments to the public so people can read. And if you want to share your personal experience, you can also reach me to that show. We have a WhatsApp group. It's called Uncle Beno VIP Club, and the people I have in that group are people who are in Western world. If you are in US, UK, Canada, Europe, you can join that group. I'm protecting the group because I don't want scammers to infiltrate it. In that group, that is where I notify the members, because you guys are VIP now. We have to treat you like VIP. So I notify the members on topics we want to talk about. If there are videos that I have to share that I'm going to talk about, I will share the video at the backstage first so that you guys can see it. You can recommend, you can have your take, and then we can come to the show and discuss it. So if you want to be part of the backstage, the link is on this channel, or you can use this number to join, or you can text this number and ask me to add you to the group. Just send me a message and say, Uncle Ben, add me to the VIP group. Just tell me where you are residing, if it is US, UK, or anywhere, and I will add you. And please be also at the backstage. I share a lot of content that are beneficial, content where you can, learn about money, how to manage your money, business opportunity, and so on and so forth. Thank you, everybody, for joining me today. I don't take this for granted. And I thank you all for doing this with me. God bless you all. Now, I'll see you in the next one.